Hello everyone, today we're going to be going over the top minifigure from each year for LEGO Star Wars, from 1999 to 2024. What are the standout minifigures that Star Wars has put out? Since I'm currently working on collecting every LEGO Star Wars minifigure ever made, I decided to take a look back and see what were the best guys that LEGO have made year by year. From 1999 up at the top, down to 2024 down at the bottom. I want to go and see who the best of the best are. For 1999, we have the B1 Battle Droid with 1x2 plate on the back. This minifigure came out in a couple sets for the year, notably the Naboo Swamp Speeder Chase and a minifigure pack. This guy can go for about $1, so you can pick him up for pretty cheap. So the best figure in my opinion from 1999 is the B1 Battle Droid, and this one is specifically with the backpack. So this guy, there's a reason why this guy has largely remained unchanged for the past 25 years. And that's because it is perfect, right? They nailed it on the head with this one. The mold, the legs, the torso, the head, the arms were great. The only addition to this minifigure was, of course, changing one of the bent arms to a straight arm so that it can hold a gun straight. And that was the only improvement it needed. And I specifically like this one with the backpack. One of the sets actually came out with the backpack. I think it just adds to the minifigure, but out of all the minifigures in 1999, this B1 Battle Droid is my favorite. For 2000, we have the classic gray Boba Fett. So this guy came out in 3 different sets: Jabba's Prize, the Slave One, and one of those minifigure packs. And he goes for about $20 used on Bricklink at the moment. This guy is awesome. He's very classic. He reminds me a lot of the old LEGO Star Wars games. You know, this is just the classic Boba Fett, right? And is the best minifigure from the year 2000, in my humble opinion. And what really stands out to me is just that helmet mold. That is just classic peak Boba Fett. Though there weren't actually a whole lot of minifigures from 2001, but the best one in my opinion is the Royal Guard with red hands. This guy you can get for about $5 on Bricklink and was released in 3 different sets: the Imperial Inspection, a Lambda class shuttle set, and the Imperial Star Destroyer. So here is my version of the Imperial Guard with red hands. And this figure is so cool in my opinion. For 2001, they really nailed the head again on this one. It's got the Imperial Guard, cloth piece over the head. And again, this has been unchanged for the past 23 years. This guy is really cool. All the scout troopers, the stormtroopers, the TIE fighter pilots, they've all gotten updated, helmet molds and stuff, but not the Imperial Guard because he is perfect. So my guy unfortunately has some fraying on the cape there, but they do have a nice red cape. And it's just, those fans of the channel know that I'm a huge sucker for just bright red troopers, and this Imperial Guard is so cool. They've done a lot of updates to him with printing. They've added dark red highlights to the arms and stuff, but I think that just solid red Imperial Guard looks phenomenal. This guy's got very simple robe printing for the front there, and then on the back, if we take his head off, you can see underneath, just flip that around, is just a solid red torso there. But this is, in my opinion, the best minifigure from 2001. Then for 2002 is another guy that I unfortunately do not have. This is Jango Fett, and he came out in Jango Fett Slave One for the year. To get this guy, it's going to set you back a hefty price of about $250 to get him in good condition. And this guy is a lot like the Boba Fett. Many of the reasons why I like the other Boba Fett is why I like this Jango, his classic helmet, the nostalgia for the LEGO Star Wars video game. This guy is really cool, and man, I wish he could be a lot cheaper so I can pick him up, but he's high on my list to pick up soon, and he is the best minifigure from 2002. Now for 2003, it can be no other than Lord Gonk himself. This one is specifically the light and dark gray version. This guy came out in 1 set, Jabba's Palace from the 2003 era, and to get this guy brand new in good condition, he's going to set you back about $50. So this guy is really cool. I like the old, chest piece there, this is just peak Gonky Droid look. And again, that nostalgia for the old Lego Star Wars video games, you can't beat it. Alright, so here is my version of the Gonk Droid in dark and light gray. And this is just, the pinnacle of Gonk Droids, of the Lord Gonk, I should say. They really, peaked right here with this design, with just the standard, cabinet door opening. I think this Gonk Droid looks great. In this one, you can see that it's got the old dark gray and then the light gray coloring. So the dark gray is a lot easier to figure out. It's kind of yellowed, but that's just actually how the color was molded back then. The light gray is a little bit more difficult. You can see kind of in the background with the base plate, this is light bluish gray, and then this is just straight light gray. So it's a little, just flatter and plainer. Unfortunately, mine has like some sticky residue. I think at one point there was a sticker here, so I gotta get that cleaned off. But this is my favorite minifigure from 2003. Now for 2004, we have Greedo, and this honestly may be my favorite Greedo that has ever been released. I really like the old teal colors, and this guy is really, really neat looking. It's a very unique looking Greedo. And this guy came out in two different sets, the Mos Eisley Cantina, and surprise, another Mos Eisley Cantina, because they changed some things throughout the years. But to get this guy brand new in good condition, he's going to set you back about $55. And I really, really wish I had this guy because he is awesome. Definitely the top guy from 2004. So for 2005, there are a lot of amazing minifigures released. But in my opinion, the best one has got to be the Kashyyyk Trooper from Episode 3. This guy is awesome. He came out in the Clone Turbo Tank set and can set you back about $80 now if you want him. So unfortunate that I don't have him, but again, high on my list to get. He is really cool with the sand green helmet and the torso prints. This is just a must-have for the Episode 3 collection because he's a very cool minifigure. Now 2006 was a year for very lackluster minifigures in my opinion. But for the minifigure of the year, I'm gonna have to go with Ten Numb. This guy is the coolest guy I think from the year that's a unique minifigure. He came out in the B-Wing set for the year and will set you back about $7 if you want to get him in good condition. So here is my version of Ten Numb. And like I said, the 2006 era of LEGO Star Wars just doesn't have a whole lot of super cool minifigures, but I think Ten Numb is a standout for this season. So he's got, very basic pilot printing. He's got a really cool face print because he's got that, alien face there, and then just a standard, brown X-Wing helmet. No printing on the back. It's a very plain minifigure, but it is cool that we got this guy in the first place. We're getting the updated Nien Numb with the Celestin head mold, and this is the first Celestin we've gotten with Ten Numb. We've gotten 3, I believe, so far. Well, with that new one, it'll be 3. So this is a cool minifigure from 2006. Not the best minifigure of all time, but for the year, I think, in my personal opinion, is the best. Now 2007 returns to form with the best Jedi that has ever been made. Of course, this is Kit Fisto. This guy came out in a couple of sets, the Obi-Wan's Hyperspace Ring and the ARC 170. And this guy is going to cost about $18 now on Bricklink. And here is my version of the 2007 Kit Fisto. And this guy is just so cool. I'm glad that they made my favorite Jedi in LEGO. I remember playing the original LEGO Star Wars video game as a kid, and they had Kit Fisto in the game. I wanted him in so bad in real life, and they never did. They didn't have that specific version of Kit Fisto. But in 2007, they came out with this guy, and it was perfect. As you can see, mine figure is faded, it's rubbed off. He has been very loved, very played with as a child. So I think he's such a cool minifigure. They did a really good job on his head mold. They got his tentacles. I wish that the color wasn't faded and gets rubbed off very well. At least his eyes are still there. I've seen a lot of other ones where the eyes are rubbed off as well. So I'm fortunate enough that that has stayed intact. If we take the head mold off there, we can see his robe printing a little better, which is very good, just standard Jedi robe. No back printing, And he of course is molded in the brittle brown, so I'm constantly afraid that something of his torso or legs is going to crack, so he just stays as still as possible. But no cracks in the legs there, no cracks under the arms. Not that I want to move them right now, but other than his head, he stayed in pretty good condition. But this is, in my opinion, the best minifigure from 2007. So for 2008, the best minifigure in my opinion is the battle damaged Darth Vader. And this is such a unique minifigure. It's very cool looking, has an exclusive broken helmet piece, and the prints on this guy are insane. This guy came out in the Rogue Shadow set as well as a magnet set as well. And to get him in good condition right now, he's about $20 on Bricklink. This guy is so cool and unique, is maybe one of the best Darth Vaders that LEGO has ever put out. Now 2009 gave us maybe the best Stormtrooper ever in the Chrome Silver Imperial Stormtrooper. This guy came out in a polybag set for the year and will set you back about $100, which hurts because this guy is so cool. It's just it's a standard Stormtrooper print, but he's decked out in Chrome Silver, which looks awesome. So this guy is very much on my list to get. He's super expensive, unfortunately, but very cool. Now, maybe a little bit of a hot take here, but I think the best minifigure from 2010 is Thyssen, the Taltz Chiefman. This guy came out in the Freako speeder bike chase and can go for about $5 on Bricklink, so it's super cheap. In here we have my version of Thyssen, just a severely underrated minifigure in my opinion. This guy is so cool, a Taltz minifigure, and the Taltz from the Clone Wars even more, so it's got his fan up here, and then his bone backpack. I wish that it was printed because of course in the show it's not just solid gray, it's got colors and bone and whatnot, but they got his face, they got his eyes and his little mouth tube. This is just such a cool minifigure in my opinion. He's just very neat and a cool alien and a cool species to add to the Star Wars collection. So for 2010, the standout minifigure. For 2020, we have the one and only TX-20 Tactical Droid. This guy retails for about $80 now, so quite expensive, and came out in one set, Mace Windu's Jedi Starfighter. And here is my version of the TX-20 Tactical Droid, the standout minifigure from 2011. This is just such a great guy. Like the molding for his torso there, getting his head there and the body shape, they did a really good job with it. The dark blue also looks really good, and the printing is solid too. It's even got a little chest print there. You can see its eyes poking out from under the visor. LEGO desperately needs to remake this guy. Not change anything, we just need a new guy, because this guy of course is uber expensive, and any fan of the Clone Wars or wanting to make a creation with droids, they need this minifigure because a tactical droid is a key part of the droid army. So this is a really cool minifigure and just one of the standout guys from 2011. There were so many cool minifigures in 2012, so this was very hard to narrow down, but I had to go with Agent Kolar. This guy came out in one set, Palpatine's Arrest, and retails for about $100 right now. Here is my version of Agent Kolar, just a phenomenal looking minifigure. So this guy, came out of course in 2012 and is the best guy from that year. He has a really cool head mold here. So I only just recently was able to add this guy to my collection because he is very expensive, and I'm very fortunate enough to have him now because he was one of my white whales. So this guy has this awesome, dual molded head. It's not dual molded, sorry, but it's got his, head spikes for the Zabrak, and then all of his hair and his braids. He's got his face print right there. He's got these tattoos poking through, which is really neat. If I take this off, we can see he's just got the old standard, harder material for the cape cloth there. If we take that off, he has really nice back printing, which I just thought was, interesting. No one's ever going to really see that because the Jedi robes are, pretty standard. They're not super special, but both his front and back printing are really good. He's got no other printing on the legs or the arms, but that doesn't matter because they just, knock this guy out of the park. I would love to see a new Asian Kolar soon with updated printing, but for now this guy hits all the marks. He is really, really good. 2013 was another amazing year for LEGO Star Wars, giving us minifigures such as Pong Krell and Phase 2 Captain Rex, but I have to go with Coleman Trebor. This is such a unique minifigure. He came out one set, the 2013 ATTE, and goes for about $40 right now. Alright, and here is my version of Coleman Trebor. Just a really cool minifigure with a very bad front profile. But if we turn him to the side there, this is just such a cool minifigure. I can't believe they made a Coleman Trebor minifigure. He's just a throwaway Jedi from episode 2 who was killed in 2 seconds, but man, this guy is really cool. And my favorite dinosaur is the Parasaurolophus, and that's what his head is molded after. It's such a cool, guy. I really like this head mold. They didn't quite get his colors right. He's more green than gray in the movie, but regardless, it's a fantastic mold there. He's got really good Jedi robe printing all around, nice back printing, and just a fantastic minifigure. I doubt we'll ever get a new Coleman Trebor minifigure. This is just such a, a deep cut character to add to a LEGO set. But if they do, I would love to see an updated color with a darker green there. But this, of course, is a fantastic minifigure and the best from 2013. Now, 2014 is arguably the best year for LEGO Star Wars. We got minifigures such as Zeb Orrelios, Revan, TC4, but I have to go with the Gray Squadron pilot. I'm a sucker for pilots, and I just think this guy is so cool. This guy came out in the B-Wing set for the year and retails for about $25 right now. And here's my version of the Gray Squadron pilot. This guy, 2014 was such a good year for minifigures. We had tons of really cool guys, but this guy just takes the cake for me in my opinion. The helmet mold, the printing, the face print, everything is just so good on this minifigure. So let's start with this helmet. I really like the B-Wing or A-Wing helmet. It's used in various different spaceships, but this is such a good mold. They capture the shape of that really well, and the printing all around here is just really solid. It's molded in multiple colors, dual molded. It's got the brown print. It's kind of chipped away, and that's not from Playware. At least I don't think. I think that's just the actual design. His face print there, he's got his pink goggles, his visor, and then he's also even just got a standard face print in the back there. If we put this back, actually we'll keep it off for a second. The torso print on this guy is just freaking crazy. Like, especially for 2014, they're really starting to get their prints under control here, but even then, this is really good for the year. It's got all of his hoses, his layered vest, he's even got like walkie-talkies. I like how the prints go across his groin piece there. This is just a really good minifigure, and fans of my channel know that I love pilots, but this guy I think just takes the cake, and is probably the best LEGO pilot that LEGO has ever put out. 2015 was a much easier pick with the Grand Inquisitor, this specific version being the dark bluish gray uniform. This guy came out in the TIE Advanced prototype, and to get him in good condition, he's about $30. And here's my version of the 2015 Grand Inquisitor, my favorite minifigure from the year. So this guy looks really interesting, especially with this helmet. I'm not honestly a huge fan of it, but that's not because of LEGO. That's just not a huge fan of that helmet design in the show either. But they pull it off really well. They got a print on the side there, which adds to it. The mold is fantastic, and the visor here, you can see through it and see his eyes. That's done very well. And if we take that helmet off, there's the Grand Inquisitor we all know and love. Very cool minifigure, especially now that his helmet is off. He's got that very menacing profile that he has in the show. So they pull that off really well. His armor piece has a nice Imperial insignia print, good print all around. There's also print on the back. And then this clip in the back was to hold his lightsaber. You put that in there, which is just a neat little addition. We take this head and armor piece off here. You can see his torso print a little better. It's fairly plain, but that was actually just because the Rebels designs were fairly plain in the show. It's just an artistic choice there. but they execute it really well in my opinion. So Grand Inquisitor, we got an updated version of him from the Obi-Wan show, but this guy is just really, really cool, and in my opinion, the best minifigure in 2015. Now 2016 gave us a ton of minifigures, but I had to go with K2SO. This minifigure is perfect, is a phenomenal character, and has only gotten more popular throughout the time. He came out in Krennic Shuttle and now goes for about $40 in good condition. So here is my version of 2016's K2SO. 2016 was really hard for me to decide the best minifigure. We had a lot of standout guys, but K2SO is really, really good and honestly perfect in my opinion. They captured the mold of the Imperial security droid really well, kind of with that hunchback. They got his, if it'll focus a little better, he's got his head really well there and his eyes. It's got prints on the side of the head as well, the front torso, he's got his buttons. It's kind of got that, not super thin, but kind of chunky body mold there. And then also just what really takes the cake for me is that Imperial insignia molded on the peg. That is just so cool and really, really well done. And that's what kind of elevates this minifigure above the other ones from 2016. Now 2017 brings me to my favorite minifigure of all time. We have Grand Admiral Thrawn, this specific version with dark azure skin. He came out in the Phantom set, and to get him in good condition, he's about $65, which is actually quite a substantial drop to what he was going for. So now's the time to get him. And here is my version of the 2017 Grand Admiral Thrawn. And could it be anyone else? This is my favorite minifigure of all time from LEGO Star Wars, and it's such a well done minifigure. And I might be a little biased here because Grand Admiral Thrawn is one of my favorite Star Wars characters, but he is just really, really cool. They got his dark blue hair, which is really nice. They got his, chiss skin there, what's that, light azure? I don't know the exact color. I'm pretty sure that's light azure. But he's got his, red eyes and the pupils. He's got his Admiral insignia. He's got his, little gold patches. I've seen a lot of, customs where they just add the gold, like pirate piece over there, and that really elevates him. But this is just the pure Grand Admiral Thrawn. I do wish they had something for the legs, maybe some boots. That'd really make him stand out a little more. And then just a very, simple back print. If we take his hair off, he does have a much more menacing, angry face looking there. But this is, of course, the best minifigure, not just from 2017, but from LEGO Star Wars of all time. And of course, that's just my opinion. Now 2018 brings us one of the coolest troopers of all time, the Minbon Trooper. This guy came out in the Solo TIE Fighter set, and to get him in good condition, he's going to go for about $70, so a pretty high price. But this minifigure is awesome. The printing on his torso and his helmet, the legs even, everything looks great. And the helmet is actually its own unique piece. The only time we've ever had this in a Stormtrooper minifigure. So it's a very cool minifigure, and he's pretty sought after. He's very expensive to get. So definitely one I hope to have very soon. Now 2019 brings us one of the most unique astromech droids LEGO has ever put out with K3R1. This guy's super cool. He came out in the Resistance Y-Wing set and only goes for about $8. So here is my version of K3 and R1, and just a very striking astromech droid. Really stands out from a lot of the other ones with his, teal color. That's what really elevates him. The teal is really, really cool on this minifigure. So I very nearly went with Zuckuss for the best minifigure of 2019, because he's done really well too. But as I was debating, I went to the wall to pull Zuckuss off, and man, just the color on K3 looks really, really good and swayed me. So this is, I think, the best minifigure from 2019. No back printing here, when at this point they hadn't really started doing that for astromech droids, but the head print does continue all around. He's got the nice, dome here instead of, or sorry, not the dome. He's got the angled dome from the, was it R3 astromechs? I don't know. I'm blanking hard, but he's got the cool little angled dome, and I like these a lot better than just the actual half dome. He's got standard astromech printing for the torso there, which is also always done really well for all astromechs. But again, the teal color just really sets this guy apart from all the others and elevates him to the best minifigure of 2019. Now with 2020, I had to go with one of the Cantina patrons, Labria. This guy came out in the UCS Cantina and goes for about $18 right now. And here we have Labria, who's just a really cool looking alien minifigure. I really like the Cantina set because it gave us tons of, the Cantina patrons and various different aliens to add to our, displays. So this guy is really neat. He's a Deveronian, which of course have been in Star Wars since Episode 4, which is why he's in the Cantina. But as the species has been featured in quite a few shows recently, in Rebels and Mandalorian and even Bad Batch. So it's cool that we got one in Lego form. He's got like he looks like a devil, right? He's got the horns and the pointed ears, sharp teeth there. For the torso, he's got this gunmetal gray, mold, and then he's got like his, standard prints, the scarf, the belt. They're using the old style cloaks there, which is, kind of unfortunate. I wish they used the spongy, especially in the UCS set, but regardless, it does what it does, and just very, very standard printing on the back there. But I chose this guy over some of the other ones because it's just a really cool alien minifigure, and one that we're probably not going to get ever again, if not for quite a while, unless they make a Deveronian character. So it's just a very cool minifigure to add to various different displays or background characters, and just, I think, is a really cool standout figure from the year. For 2021, I had to go with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Paz Vizsla. This guy came out in the Armorer's Mandalorian Forge set and goes for about $10 right now. And here we have Paz Vizsla, which is just one bulky Mandalorian. He's really, really cool looking. I love his sand blue color scheme here. He's got the bigger armor piece overlay, just to show his bulkiness from the show. He's got the mythosaur print here on the side, really nice printing on the front, and just a big old beefy backpack that his gun attaches to. This minifigure, of course, shot up in price quite a bit, just because of his appearance from The Mandalorian. If we take that off, we can see his torso print there. But he did just get re-released. Oops, I just knocked over the whole display here. He did just get re-released in a new set, so his price will almost certainly go back down, and fans can enjoy the awesome Paz Vizsla. And this guy is just awesome. His prints are really, really solid all around. He's a cool character and a cool addition to the Mandalorian, display in general. He just has this solid black head because his face is never shown, because, this is the way. But this is the best minifigure from 2021. Now 2022, I think, is an incredibly underrated minifigure. We have the Ned B Loader Droid. This guy goes for about $8 and came out in the Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader duel from the Kenobi series. And here we have Ned B, which is just such an underrated minifigure. He is so cool looking. Just a cool little beefy droid there. He's got a bright yellow color scheme, really good printing all around. You see got his eyes, but all just the dirt and grime, the scratches on the paint. It looks really, really good. And the unique mold here to get his head and his torso are also really solid. I like the addition of the blue just to the paint scheme, just a cool character design. It does have back printing here on this printed piece as well, which is nice. It's not a sticker. Just adds to his backpack. If we take off his torso here, it's just one solid piece besides, of course, the backpack. He just has solid black underneath, but that's not needed because it will never be seen underneath this awesome torso mold. So Ned B, the best minifigure of 2022. Now for 2023, I had to go with Captain Rex, the second version we've gotten for Captain Rex. This guy originally came out in the UCS Venator and now, of course, has come out in the Microfighter set, and he goes for about $10 right now. So here is my version of the Phase 2 Captain Rex from 2023. And I know there's a lot of controversy over the minifigure, the waistcloth not being an actual cloth piece, the helmet holes, of course. Regardless, this is still a really good Captain Rex minifigure. And with the, the current design of kind of the small visor, that's kind of looks a little squished in, I think actually elevates this version of Captain Rex, because the Phase 2 visor is actually pretty small on his helmet. So in that, I will give it props, even if it's not, you know, done on purpose. It looks really good. He still has phenomenal printing all around. He's got the droid tallies there. He's got his, you know, little face prints, the welding marks on his helmet. He's got arm printing, which is always good to see in a minifigure. He's got really nice torso printing, again with the weld marks, because, you know, he melded his or welded together his Phase 1 and Phase 2 armor to make a custom design in canon, which is just kind of a little neat. He's got, of course, the printed waistcloth there, which, you know, is not great, I'll say it, but, you know, it is what it is. He's got the comma here on his shoulder, which is really nice. If I can take off oops, I'm knocking stuff around again. We show that arm print there, again with the tallies, which is really cool. And then his face print, flip that around. Sorry, I'm jumbling it around right now. He's got really nice face print for Captain Rex. He's even got, which I think is such a cool little detail, the patch there where they take his inhibitor chip out. That is so cool. That's a really cool little detail. And of course, Phase 2 Rex was long overdue for people to get. So the standout minifigure of 2023, in my opinion. Now 2024 was a really hard choice for me, but I had to go with Darth Malak. I don't have this guy yet, but he just looks phenomenal. Between the mouth guard, the printing on his torso, and the legs, this guy is just awesome. And I hope to get him soon so I can pair him up with Darth Malgus and Revan when I eventually get those guys as well. But this minifigure I think just stands out from the rest of the 2024 lot. And that does it for the best minifigures from 1999 to 2024. Let me know if you agree with my top picks, and let me know who you think the best minifigures are. Until then, I'll see you next time.